Right, so I'm going to show you how to fix a Global 2 coin mech if you've got a coin jam. Now, the way this coin mech works, you've got two motors at the bottom that operate. One motor operates the 20p and 5p tube, and the other motor operates the 10p and 50p tube. So if you get to a Global 2 and it won't dispense coinage, it's either going to be A and B, which is 20s and 5s, or it's going to be C and D, which is 10s and 50s. One of those tubes won't work, then both of those tubes won't work, if you know what I mean, because the motor controls both tubes. So if you've gone to a machine and you press any of these buttons and it doesn't drop a coin out, then you know you've got an issue with one of these tubes. So it will probably be that you've either got a coin jam in here, or these cogs have become misaligned, so you need to then take this apart and realign it. If it's a 50p jam, which is quite common, 50p jams get stuck because basically there's an arm in there that chucks the 50p that way. If there's a 50p jam, you might be able to get underneath it and you'll see the 50p underneath through them holes there. So if you get a screwdriver or something small, you can most probably push it back up into place. Then if you press and hold D button, it should then chuck out, and you know you've done it right because it will chuck out 2 coins, right? So that's the 50p jam. Or if it's not that, it could be that the coin has got lodged and it's put these out of line. So these cogs here. So the best way to get into this is you've got a screw at either side there, and then one at this side, and then you've got a screw in the middle, right? So we're going to just put it on a flat surface like this. Unscrew a screw here, if I can get. Right, so I've took that one out, and there's another one on this side. So if I take that out with the screwdriver, so I'll remove both of those screws. Now you want to get it, once you've removed the 2 side screws, you want to get it upside down because it's a lot easier to work with. So now it's upside down, we can take the center one out. So we'll just unscrew that. Okay, that's all 3 screws now removed. And then this plate just lifts off like that. So this is the arm I'm talking about. So that flicks the 50p's drop into that bit there, and then that flicks the 50p across and then out down into the coin return chute. Now these are the cogs I was talking about. So you've got one cog operates the 2, this cog operates the other 2. Now these need to be aligned correctly. So if you look on the cogs there, you've got lots of little grooves, and then you've got lots of little teeth, and then right in the middle there, this actually pulls out like that, look. You've got one big gap and you've got one big tooth. They sometimes become lodged, so if you imagine it being kind of like that, it won't be able to do it because that big tooth won't fit into the gap. So what you need to do is you need to take that off, take this off this bit here, and then realign it and put it back in manually so that big tooth sits against the big gap. And the same with that side. So imagine that's all the way around the other way. If you have to count the amount of grooves and the amount of teeth to correspond with where that then will sit in the gap. So you can realign those like that, put them back in, and then this goes back in place. Now the only awkward thing about this is this arm here. So obviously this shoots the 50p across, as I said before. That bit there needs to sit in there like that. So if you're trying to get it on like that, it's not going to go on because that little arm there should sit in that groove. So you need to have that all the way across that way, and then when you put it back into place, try and get it so the arm sits in like that, and then it sits back nice and flush. So that's basically, effectively that kind of 50p pusher is kind of at an angle like that. So once you've done that, put all the screws back in, and then plug it back in, and then you can test it, and hopefully then that will turn one way to drop one coin out, turn the other way to drop the other coin out. Now sometimes you get coin mechs get jams inside the tubes. Sometimes you have to take the tube out, remove all the coinage, put the tubes back in, and then drop the coins back into the chutes, right? The best way and easiest way to do that is you have to take the actual validator off. So this is the validator, the top bit's the validator. You've got this little arm at the top here that you push down, and then if you pull it at the top, it comes forward, and then it clicks up and comes out, right? it's plugged in with a ribbon cable at the back. So unplug that ribbon cable, and that's your validator out. Now quickly, to clean this, you just lift that up, just get a damp cloth. Don't need to have any cleaning fluids or anything, just a nice damp cloth just to clean these contacts, because if you think about the coins coming through here, as they pass through they leave deposits and muck and dust and stuff, which can block up the sensors. So a quick wipe there, quick wipe on there, and it just kind of clears all any debris that's in there to do that. And then with this now, so you can see the coin tubes now in here. So if I open this door, take this door off completely, these tubes are easily removable. You get there's two ways of doing it. There's either these little slots here where you can push in, and as you push in you can pull it out like that, right? Or what you can actually do, if you just put your screwdriver at the front there, you can just push it in and prise it open like that. So that's how you remove all the tubes. Get this one out as well. There we go. And now you can actually see those cogs that we looked at earlier and the way they operate. So that's, if you imagine that flicks that way, it allows a coin there to drop out, or it flicks that way and it allows that coin to drop out. So that's the way that they work, like that. Okay, so you take the tube out, take all the coins out. If there's any jams, it'll be around this section here, so you could just prise the coins out. And as long as those cogs have not become misaligned, you should be able to quickly and easily sort that out. So what you can do at this point is, just to make sure that they work, if you plug this back in with the ribbon cable and you hold it in position and press those buttons one after the other, you'll see the cogs move left and right. So you can do that, and then it shows you that they're all free and they are freely moving. Once you've done that, obviously remove that again. Now to get these back in, you've got to locate, there's some lugs at the back. So you've got this bit here and this bit here. So they go into this section here with the two brackets, and that sits in that bit there. So what we're going to do is, let me just make sure this is the right tube, because the other thing is that all the tubes are in the right places. So you start with a 20p tube, then the 5p tube, then we've got the 10p tube, and then finally the biggest tube obviously is the 50p tube. So you've got to make sure all the tubes go in right. So you will locate that into that bottom section right there. You can see that. And you push that into the centre and you click it into place like that. Okay? That's the smallest tube. So that's the 5p, so 5p sit in that section there. That's the next size tube, so that's the 10p tube. So we'll stick that into there. And that's the 20p tube finally. And we'll stick that into there. You know it's in properly because that little bit in the middle needs to be in, otherwise you'll be able to pull these forward and they'll tilt forward. But you know you've got it in properly if you try and pull them and they're actually fixed in, so that's absolutely fine. And what you need to do, stick your door back on. Now it's important with this door because this mirror, these mirrors are missing. The way this coin mech works is you've got sensors on this coin mech. So the top sensor shows tells the machine that it's full of coins, and then it will take the remaining coins into the cash pot. The bottom sensor tells the machine if it's out of coins, and if you imagine the mirrors being in here, the sensor comes and hits the mirror, rebounds back off the mirror, and that's how it knows if there's coins in it or not. So if you imagine the coins blocking that sensor, it means that the signal won't rebound off the mirror to tell the machine what it needs to know. So with this particular one, the way it's set up, because you've got missing mirrors on this door, this coin mech will think, because they'll think it's full of coins. Because there's no mirror there reflecting that signal back, it'll think that this coin mech is full even if it's not. Okay, so you've got to make sure it's very important that you have the mirrors situated across here and then along on there as well. Okay, stick that back in. So we'll put it back on, put it back into place. Get the validator. We'll stick the validator back in using the ribbon cable. So we'll click that back in there. And then that literally hooks in to the side like that. Clicks back into place, and that's it. That's how to strip down and rebuild a Global 2.